was almost 16. And
How old was Milagros?
16, almost.
about almost 16 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So one day we were at the plaza or the square in the town, and a person that knew both of us saw that we were talking, and so she didn't want to go back home. She says, "Naco, I'm not going home." And I say, "Where you're going?" She say, "I'm going with you. I don't care where you go."
She wanted to go home with you? Wow, pretty aggressive.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm going home with you.
And I don't care where I go.
Yeah, she didn't care. All because her father was he was very cruel.
Antipático. Cruel.
And she was afraid of him. So right there was my experience in the army, and how did after I got out of the army, I married Milagros. We were married for 67 years. We always were together, except when I went to Korea, we had to be separated. I went to Fort Louis, Washington. She was with me. I went to New Jersey to study because I was a very good baseball player.
Yeah, Armando, can I ask you a question? So when you say you got out in 45?
46.
46? So when you say you went to Korea, you went back in?
They called me back into service
Okay,
because I went into the reserves.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So you were in the reserves and then you went back into service.
Back into service in 1950. As soon as the Korean War broke, we were called back into active service. At that time, I was a tank mechanic.
Right.
So the other mechanic training when you were younger probably helped you out.
I was a tank mechanic, which I went to Fort Knox to the armor school for about 72 weeks. We had to take an engine they put us all the parts on a bench, and then we had to put all leave the exact distance between the crankshaft and the bearing. Maybe two millésimas.
Millimeters? Milésimas, yo creo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Were those the Marshall tanks? Were those from the same World War II tanks? What are they called those?
It is the crankshaft and
the tank. What was it called? Was it
the tank.
Yeah, it was called
The tank. First, we were one that was called Agile Annie, an M24,
right.
and then we went to M42. But before that, during my as a mechanic, I worked on the like an airplane engine, which we had to crank, and we have to make sure that since this is a circle, when there was enough enough fuel in the pistons, it will drip down to the bottom. And if you try to start it, you could blow the engine up. So you first have to
Prime it.
wind it
Yep.
to
Yep.
get all the
Oil moving.
all that moving before they can hit the
Was that a propeller still?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it didn't have a propeller.
Oh no.
Because this is on a tank recovery vehicle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
It
thought it
is
was an
a, it
airplane.
is a crane.
Okay.
It is a crane that had a capacity of at that time was about 20 tons.
Damn.
That's a good question.
So after I got out of the service and I got married, I was given a grant at the University of Puerto Rico, which it was given to me because I was the second highest grade in the whole island for during the test. So I was given all I had to do was just to pay for my books.
You just had to show up.
Huh?
You just had to show up.
No, I went. I
Yeah.
went, but when I was called back into active duty, they called me back into active duty. I had to leave the university.
Oh, so you had to leave the university to go to the Korea. Oh, so tell us again. So you took Milagros, or you had to leave her?
Where, to Korea?
Yeah.
No. I was Carmen, Jose, Carlos, Nitza, and Saida went to Puerto Rico during the 15 months that I was in Korea.
Your kids.
And then when my 15 months were up, I was offered a job in Saigon as a military advisor for the South Vietnamese troops.
Now we're in Vietnam.
And I didn't accept it because I wanted to be with my family. So I came back and they sent me to this place that I didn't want to go, Washington, D.C.
Almost like the Spanish class. You didn't want to go to Washington.
No, but in Washington we raised our family. All the children went to school starting in Tacoma. Most of them started in Tacoma and ended up in Virginia. They finished their and Puerto Rico. They finished their elementary, the high school, and the ones that wanted to go to college. Like Nitza went to Notre Dame for 1 year.
Okay.
That's how she speaks French and all
German
that.
and Greek and
So I'm going to go back since I was a good ball player and I was working with engines and all that. This part of my hand cracked that you could see the bone or the tendon.
you were allergic to the oil, right?
All right, to the petroleum product.
Uh-huh.
So my coach was a doctor, and she saw me and she saw the potential that I had. That he went ahead and said, I'm going to get you school. And here comes back to what I wanted to be. they sent me to Fort Mammons. That is the electronic school for the Army in New Jersey. And there I was 72 weeks learning electronics.
How old are you then?
26 or 27, somewhere around there. As a matter of fact, I went to Fort Mammons. Before I went to Korea.
So this was you went to this school before you entered Korea, so this was ahead of time.
So 19 what?
Going to serve in Korean War was in 1950.
But you went to the electronics before that.
September 1950.
Okay, but before that.
Before then, I went to electronic school,
Okay.
learning about what are the uses of the television in the training of the American troops. And I was one of the first one, and not because I'm a brain, but I was the first in my class when I graduated. So that's the reason why they sent me to the Pentagon. And I hated it. When they told me you're going to Washington, I say, hey, I hate going to Washington. I had a chaplain that was a colonel that was a friend of the chief of communications of the Army. That was a two-star general. She said, "Don't worry, Robbie. I'm going to get." And he wrote him a letter. The general wrote back and said, "Tell Mr. Robles that the agency that he was assigned, they said that he should report, and if he doesn't report, then he can talk to Colonel Kelly, I believe was his name, and he can look for another place that he can think that." So after that I made my fame in the Pentagon. I did a lot of things that saved the Army a lot of money, and I got, every time that I had a suggestion, I either got $1,000, $500, $750, $1,500. That was the most that you could get.
Can you give me an example of something that you invented? You told me before that helped the Army.
One of the things is that we had what we call now that doesn't happen. But we have what was called a kinescope. Kinescope was a TV a screen and a motion picture camera on the other end. The motion picture camera was a 16 millimeter camera. That all went through, and then we were losing a lot of stock, a lot of film. We lost thousands of feet of film because when we finished the negative to send it to Capitol to be copied and distributed to each one of the army installations, not the installation was in the States, but outside. We found out that there was a scratch right in the sender, but we could not see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I came out with an idea, and I put a bar about 36 inches long. So what I did was to the negative will go through here. It will have a moving roller down because not two motors, even though they're at 60 cycles, do not run at the same speed. There is a slight difference between one and the other. So my idea of putting this about 36 inches to start was that if the developer or the processor was a little bit ahead, this one will start dropping down, but never, and we could see instantly if there was a scratch, if it was in focus, it was out of focus, or whatever. And for that one, I believe I got $1,200 or something like that.
Wow, so you used the piece, that metal, to be the focal point to tell you if everything was processing correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
That is, it has a roller. The film go through here after it is processed by the camera.
Yeah.
It goes through the roller. The roller slides into a bar because the two motors are not running at the same speed.
Right.
So if the time came that we had to it's getting very close, we could have stopped the processor. The roller will start going back up, and then we start the processor again.
Nice. Nice.
It's a cool invention.
Nice.